computer. Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I'm here with the wonderful Wolf, and obviously this is just general share advice and disclaimer. Where's the disclaimer? Apologies. Disclaimer coming up now. Got a lot of disclaimers.
Just shows how how disorganized we are.
Yeah, well, we've been too busy looking at the market, but anyway,
Exactly.
Please read the disclaimer as you can see on the website, and obviously this is just a general share advice and not personal advice. And Wolfie,
Yes.
oh, what a horrible performance. So listen, we did warn on Einstein's that it's going to be hard buying this bounce.
Yep.
Because the market's generally looking negative, and at the moment, if the week, if it ends up like this, the Dow, man, we've got the tombstone. So that's the
Not the tombstone, Dave.
That's the tombstone. We've got the tombstone, and that's not a good candle. So I mean, it's holding that support. It's amazing how these support lines work. But I've got a feeling, Wolf, if we have a bad night on the Dow, we break that, we're going lower on the Dow, a lot lower. And I'm having a look at the Nasdaq. And again, this is bad price action. If we look something like this by the end of the week, 11,200, here we come. This is, I mean, we fairly more or less predicted this fall, but, in fact, actually just bring it on. Get it over and done with. Come down. Hopefully we've got some cash in the bank, and let's just get this over and done with, because the market is definitely selling off at the moment.
Yeah. It's dire, Dave. I actually was hiding under my Duna last night from the markets, because I had a quick peek and I thought, oh my god, do I need to get up today? Yes, I do. But it's a very volatile market right now, so you're going to get that. It's definitely the risk is to the downside still, and you got to play it how we've been talking about it. Very little to no tech stocks. Have some defensives if you want to play this market. If you don't want to play golf, and just sit tight on some cash.
But Wolf, the markets were jolted by the UK, so 10% inflation, things don't look good. And guess what? They've only put the interest rates up to 1%. Big deal. And you know what? This is the theme, and this is what was, I think, really pathetic last night with the Fed, where they're just sort of trying to give the impression they can hold inflation back by putting the interest rates up a little bit, and don't worry, we've got it sorted. They haven't, and as the market realizes they're not going to get inflation that easily under control. And here in Australia, as we realize, we're going to have a lot higher interest rates. Watch out, this market's going to get tougher. And I saw the 10 years in America, the 10-year bonds up again, starting to look attractive, right? So, it's giving a lot of fund managers a place to start looking now, 3%.
Dave, I suppose, look, the Fed has to talk tough, right? Because people want something to hang on to. And while they might have a lot of tools to play with it, I think that the key thing is here, the balance. Because if they go hard too fast with the interest rate rises, whatever, 2 or 3%, they could easily kill the momentum of any economic recovery. It's, weakening anyway. So we are going to get to the stage of what English are saying, right?
But at least, Wolf, don't we have to see a normalization of valuations? And we're still high. I mean, historically, with Apple and the Microsoft and some of these big stocks in the Dow,
that's why they're coming. That's why they're coming down.
Yeah, they're still sort of, what do you say, 30% over you say the long-term average, right?
Look, I think the first we touched upon this before. The first point where we'll probably see the normalization would be at the point of the start of the pandemic, right, where everything went just ballistic for a couple of years. So that's the first point. It probably needs to get back to that point, and then we can start looking at it, thinking, okay, where to from there? So we're not at the point yet. I mean, if you have a look at right now, Dave, on NASDAQ, that point is still at least another 3,000 points away.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you heard it first on Einstein's on Sunday night. And again, Einstein's gets it right again, Wolf. So, isn't the Cincinnati system good, hey? Now, and here's our market starting to capitulate. I mean, look at Wolf. We need a bounce this afternoon. We need to end up the day, really, we want to end up above that 7,270, or again, what you got to explain to everybody, what does this mean? This is giving us a feeling of sentiment that the market is losing. People are throwing the towels, starting to throw the towel in a little bit. More people going into cash. Yeah, as soon as you break trend, it's just not a good sign generally. And suddenly this price action does not look too good at all. And this could be a precursor of a lot bigger fall to come, Wolf. We've got to be very, very careful here, and we've got to warn our members that this is a very.
I think you make a pretty valid point. I don't think we've had that capitulation yet. Remember, the capitulation is the point where everything gets sold, and you
that's the point.
Everything else, right?
Yeah, I know
that point yet.
Well, I know when we get to the capitulation point, because I'm always on the phone to you. I'm going, Wolf, you have to come to work. You've got to stop crying. And I'm with your girlfriend. I'm saying, wifey, I'm saying, can you get him out under the bed and tell him to grow up? I get those moments with you, Wolf.
Yeah.
And I have to lay you out under the bed and I have to promise you the world, and then I know that's the time to buy.
Exactly, and we haven't got to that point yet.
Right.
So we are still, I don't know if it's going to come or when it's going to come, but normally in a big strong market sell-off, there is that point of all the margin calls get called up, and we just haven't seen that point yet. So that might be coming. That's why it's still scary out there. And like I said, the risk is to the downside for sure.
Wolf, MQG.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with some of the announcements today. You'd read that and it looked great, hey? Like some of those numbers were absolutely superb.
100%. You look at the numbers and you think, yes, we're gonna have a green stock today. Maybe not. Look, we got to probably look at this two ways, right? The numbers were pretty good. There's no denying that. I think there's two things here that you can take away. Was it good enough for the markets? And possibly not, even though the market, the actual numbers were pretty good, but that's how the savage the market is. The second of all, which is probably the bigger problem here, no guidance.
But isn't that typical a little bit of Macquarie?
It is typical of Macquarie, right? They don't give guidance.
We get this all the time. They don't give guidance. It gets sold off, and it's often an opportunity.
Exactly. So this is what I'm going to come back to. I think it's an opportunity, right? Am I brave enough to do it today? Maybe not. Wait till Monday just to see if there's any further sell-offs and reassess on Monday. But generally speaking, this is exactly this is Macquarie playbook, Dave. They come up with a strong report. Maybe the market doesn't quite happy because it didn't.
Well, the outlook was still fairly bullish. I mean, they're saying they expect.
You read it in there. They're saying that pretty much the conditions are conducive to a good performance for us, and we are very conservative. I think that's the word they said. Our conservative guidance says that we should be okay. So the market's very, very tough out there. I think it's way overdone already, but I'll leave the market to decide for that for next week. We'll see where it's at, but I would be definitely nibbling on this, but I'd say hold off till Monday.
Yeah, just in case we get a capitulation tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wolf, and it really, well, I suppose, like you said, not surprising. Obviously, the markets are getting sold off, but it seems a little bit tough. Now, AMS down 44%.
Yep.
I looked at that and I said, with actually what their numbers are, is that a little bit overly heated? But you said no. You said it's a failure of management. That's why it's getting sold down. It's not so much the numbers. It's like people are saying, well, how can we trust you if you come out with one thing and do another?
100% correct, Dave. It's not about the numbers anymore. It's about credibility of the management. And when you come up with 2 weeks ago and say that the guidance is intact, we are reiterating a guidance, and 2 weeks later to come say we're reducing our guidance, there's a problem here with management. And unfortunately, this is the reflection on the price today. And I don't see a recovery coming anytime soon, Dave. Might go even lower than that. So
right.
I mean, the thing is that, Dave, the sad thing is really, it wasn't a big guidance downgrade at all, right? Because I think it had 95 plus. Now they're coming up with between 80 and 90. So, less than 10%. but it's down 44%. That is, to me, 100% all due to the credibility of the management right there.
So it was trading on my calculations at a P of 25. I'm trying to get some sort of feeling where it should be. I suppose now it's still around, what you say, about 16, 17.
Well, no, that's look. I think we're going to look at it very differently.
Yeah.
Let's not look at the bottom line type stuff. Let's look at this story. Probably still has to be looked at on a revenue basis more than anything else, right? So if you are going to take that upper range of 90 million revenues for 2022, then it's cheap as chips. I think it's trading less than one, maybe even half. Right? I think it's about 50 million now. I think actually, let me have a look. So
it was, well, I think it was 77. So I think you're right, Wolf, around 50, maybe below 50 million.
Yeah, I think yeah, absolutely. I think we are right. I think it is correct. Let me just double check that. So we've got market cap, 136 million market cap. I don't think that's updated as yet. So let's say that 50% down. So that's about 75.
Okay,
right?
so you've got all the options included in yours. So it's still trading less than.
Yeah, it is. It seems like it, right? It seems like it is trading below.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't matter. The market's not going to touch you until you really address the actual management. It's simple.
Wolf,
but, at the end of the day, Dave, you should not be in this stock at all. I mean, we've talked about this many times. It broke trend. We gave it to $1. It broke that. You got to get out. You've had enough clues in there, enough reasons to get out. And if you haven't, you need to reassess your strategies.
Wolf, REA, again, a really ugly week for REA. And I'll just show this to see. We've broken long-term support, right? So again, we've been joking about the valuation of this stock for a long time. It broke trend, and we were saying, God, if you were still in this, you'd be mad. Since then, it's actually nearly gone down by half. And by the look of the charts, this is again going to go down a lot lower, maybe back down to 80, 60, $60. It looks terrible, Wolf.
Yes, Dave, it does, but at least the valuation is coming down.
Right? Yeah, and the report wasn't that bad, was it?
It wasn't. The first part of it was good. And that's the headline numbers. It's probably the second part that the market probably didn't like, and that was the outlook. And we know, I don't think it's a secret to anyone that we're probably expecting, with the higher interest rates, we're expecting a little bit of moderation in the housing market. And I think they spoke about that. There's definitely less new starts happening, right? New builds. So that's softening space. I'm not surprised the market's taking this negatively, because it's always forward-looking, should be forward-looking. And I expect, to be honest, I'm probably expecting this now to get back to about $100, Dave.
Right, yeah, it's on the way, Wolf. It's on the way. Now, a little bit of good news. RIC and some of these food stocks, you can see GNC, RIC, Elders, RFF. Some of these food stocks, defensive stocks, are holding up very well, Wolf.
Yep.
As you'd expect, and they are very defensive. And I see some good upgrades.
Yeah, well, at least bullish talk from some of these brokers. So RIC was one of them. And if you just give me one moment, I'll tell you exactly. Whoops, because I had it open here. Hang on. Unless I close it down. No, I've got it here. Okay, so Ridley, and they were. Here we go. We've got a initiation of coverage from UBS and a $2 valuation price target. So they seeing it, as a still a very good business moving forwards for the next 12 months. And I suspect that we agree with that. I mean, we know that this space is pretty strong.
QBE again had some decent upgrades, and I think somewhere around that 14 and 15, Wolf. We're humming and hawing. We're trying to work out if we called this one today. I think we're back to Monday and see what damage happens on the Dow and the Nasdaq over the weekend, Wolf.
I agree. I mean, QBE, Morgan Stanley says 1570 price target. I mean, that's way out there, Dave. That's beyond the previous highs in 2020. That's bullish. And then you've got Morgan's 1445, and it's still way ahead, right? We're like little pussycats. We just want $13 out of this. So we're happy with the little things. So it's nice to see there's a bit more bullishness out there for QBE. So maybe this is a good trade, right? With that positivity coming through some bigger brokers out there.
Definitely. And well, let's wait till Monday, see what's happened, and see if we get in on Monday. But maybe, like we said, with the weekend, we've got to be a little bit careful. CRN. Still on the charts, Wolf looking reasonably bullish. You did go up and hit that sort of 250 level. There were in talks of some potential merger. Can you tell me a little bit about this merger, Wolf? If it had happened, how I suppose how big it would have been, or how advantageous?
I have no idea. The actual announcement was about 2 paragraphs. That's it.
Okay.
Basically, they said there was a article, I think, in one of the newspapers saying that Coronado is in secret talks with another company out of either Canada or America somewhere. I think it's Canada, another coal play to a merger. And basically CRN addressed it saying, yep, we have been, but not anymore. That's it, right? So there's not much information in there, apart from saying that it's not talking to someone else, but presumably somebody knew something. That's why there was strong share price. And of course, we know that the coal prices definitely helped and probably masked that talks behind the scenes, right, between 2 mergers. But now that the cat's out of the bag, I'd say maybe it's not going to be going as strongly as before. There probably needs to be some profit taking to be had. And already we've seen that part of it already today, but maybe a little bit more, because we haven't seen that in a wave type formation like some of the other coal stocks. It's just been going up and up and up and up.
Wolf, just to end on a bright note, a 1 buy signal.
You like to pat yourself on the back, don't you? But that's good.
It's actually slightly up today, and I think it's slightly ticking up for the week, which is good. And we had some good move on Einstein's on obviously energy stocks. Origin was looking good, and IVZ had a fantastic move, certainly outperforming the market. Our industrial stocks, Wolfie, did well, and take profits on these guys. Tough market. AMZ, obviously TCL went on with it. AZL, it's flat for the week, but it did have a move up. Hot stock from 2 weeks ago, PTB. What a strong story that is. It's holding there. It's like the Alamo, this story. It's holding that line, isn't it? Very, very good. And little LEL getting a little bit of a sell off now, but some fantastic moves. So really Einstein's, and again, some weaker ones like Net had a move. Can you believe it? Maybe the one tech stock is up so far for the week, Wolf, and actually had a fantastic move up earlier on the week. So yeah, Einstein is generally speaking picking the teeth out of some pretty horrible mouths.
Just speaking of tech stocks, I probably just want to mention one more, and that's AND. If you're in this, it looks like it's a get out time.
And again, it wasn't a bad announcement.
Exactly.
That's the trouble. I mean, it wasn't a bad announcement, but at the moment, this market's having a big re-rate and big sell-off. So listen, on that note, Wolf, we are live in about 1 hour. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I can't wait, Dave. It's going to be super duper.
Yeah, it's going to be. Have you got your handkerchief out and your tissues? And
I've got my earplugs, so I don't hear any bad stuff.
All right, listen, I'm looking forward to that. All right, brilliant, Wolf.
See you soon, Dave. See you, everyone.
Bye. See you in an hour, Wolf. Bye.